You know, there are these two little phrases in English that seem so simple, but wow, do they cause a lot of confusion. Could and could have. Get them right, and you sound way more natural, more polite. Get them wrong, and, well, it can get a little awkward. So let's just tear these apart, and I promise by the end of this, you are going to be using them like you were born to it.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a classic example. I can help you versus I could help you. Can you feel the difference? One of them sounds like a solid promise, right? The other, it feels more like an offer, a suggestion. That tiny little shift in feeling, that's everything. And that's exactly what we're going to get to the bottom of today.
All right, first things first. Before we dive into all the tricky, nuanced stuff, let's start with the absolute basics. Think of this as building our foundation, you know? The most straightforward use of could is just talking about the simple past.
So here's the number one easiest rule to lock in your brain. Could is basically the past tense of can. It's all about ability. Like right now, listen, I can hear something. But if we're talking about yesterday, I listened, I could hear something. It's just what you were able to do back then. Simple as that.
But, and this is a big but, here is where could becomes this really powerful tool. It's not just about the past. Let's look at how it totally changes the vibe of our conversations in the here and now, turning a definite plan into a gentle suggestion. Just listen to how different these sound. If I say, we can go to the movies, that sounds pretty solid, right? Like, that's the plan. But if I say, we could go to the movies, see, suddenly it's not a plan. It's just an idea I'm floating out there. It's softer. It's kind of like you're opening a door for other people to chime in, not shutting it.
This is basically the language of brainstorming. You're not making some final decision, you're just exploring the options. You know, we could get pizza or we could check out that new museum. You're just tossing ideas around, not making demands. It is an absolutely key tool for having polite, easygoing conversations.
Okay, you ready? Let's take could to the next level. We're moving past simple suggestions and into the really cool world of possibilities. Everything from what might actually happen all the way to what's completely and totally imaginary. Think about it for a second. You would never say, take an umbrella, it can rain later. It just sounds weird, right? That's because when we're talking about future possibilities, could is the word you need. It could rain later means exactly the same thing as it might rain. It's a possibility, not a guarantee. And now for my favorite part, the drama. The exaggeration. Is this person actually going to hibernate for 7 days straight? No way. Of course not. This is about pure emotion. Could lets us express a feeling that's so incredibly strong that it feels, just for a moment, like a real physical possibility, even when it's totally unrealistic.
So here's the rule of thumb. For those big, unreal, over-the-top feelings, could is your best friend. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. If you said, I can eat a horse, people would probably expect you to, go find one. Could is for the feeling, not the literal fact.
Okay, so we've totally handled could in the present and the future. Now it's time to fire up our verbal time machine. We're going to look back at the past using this incredibly useful phrase, could have.
This, right here, is the heart of it. Could have is all about hindsight. It lets us talk about all these alternate realities in the past. The things that were totally possible, but for whatever reason, just didn't end up happening. It's the official language of what if. Let's make this super clear with a quick story. So picture this guy, Dave. He's riding his bike, everything's going great, and then, whoops, he takes a tumble. But look, he hops right back up, he's totally fine, just a little shaken.
So even though he's okay now, think about that moment he fell. There was some real danger there, wasn't there? A different, much worse outcome was definitely possible. So what was that alternative? What was the risk?
That's it right there. The potential for him to get hurt was very, very real. He could have hurt himself. This phrase perfectly captures a possibility that existed in the past, but, thankfully, didn't actually happen.
So let's just break that down super simply. Was it possible for Dave to get hurt? Yes, absolutely. Did he actually get hurt in the end? No, he walked away fine. And that exact combo, a past possibility that did not happen, is the perfect time to use could have.
Okay, so we've covered what was possible. Now let's do a complete 180 and talk about when things are impossible. And this is where we really need to draw a clear line between something being impossible right now versus impossible back then.
Oh, this is such a great phrase. When you say things couldn't be better, you're describing a perfect moment in the present. It means it is literally impossible for the situation to get any better than it is right now. It's peak happiness.
Now watch what happens when we go back in time. We just add have been, and poof, we're talking about a memory. That vacation couldn't have been better. We're looking back on it and realizing it was perfect. It was impossible for it to have been any better than it was. That perfection is locked away in the past.
So the rule here is just so beautifully simple. Is something impossible right now? Use couldn't. Is it impossible in the past? Just add have. Couldn't have. That's the whole trick.
Okay, let's just pull all of this together on one quick snapshot. For possibilities, we use could for now and the future, and we use could have for the past. And for impossibilities, it's couldn't for right now and couldn't have for the past. Do you see that beautiful pattern? That little word have is our time machine. It always locks the phrase firmly in the past.
And there you have it. So before you click away, let's make this stick. Just take a second and think about yesterday. What's one path you didn't take? What is one thing you could have done, but didn't? It's a fantastic way to practice. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out.